Confirmed. Sayu's mom is absolute trash. Like, absolute trash. Like, I cracked the joke about, hey, Yoshida, mom's fair game. And I talked about the idea that there's this small chance that this small little look that she gave when Sayu outburst that she could be corrected. No, this lady's trash. I could not follow her whatsoever. But yeah, I just got done with the 12th episode of Higehiro, and these are my thoughts on it. But yeah, this was I'm so mixed on this episode, honestly, like truly honestly. And it's not that I think anything is bad about it. I think this is just one of those examples of how something that was a light novel just does not translate to animated whatsoever. And it's really the idea that I couldn't stop thinking about how the fact that these people are sitting here staring at each other and nobody's talking for like these long, awkward pauses. Yeah, in Yoshida's head, he's going through this whole thought process. But even still then, when he's not, they're just staring at each other. It's just this awkward, silent room, if you think about it. And there's this one moment where Yoshida's thinking about something, and I totally thought he was saying this. And I was like, awesome. And then he wasn't saying it. And I'm like, you should say that. That was perfect. It's like this, you had this perfect thing you could have said. I think even, I don't remember if it was one of the comments that was in his head. At some point he's talking about like, adopting Sayu. And it's like, I don't think that's going to work, but sure, that sounds really cool. But yeah, just a really awkward room. Very, very awkward room, which I guess is technically created by the fact that her mom's a nut job. And yeah, that's the troubling thing with the whole situation is like, okay, again, I wasn't shocked that she slapped her when she first seen her. Have like this, hey, acknowledge the fact that there's a guest here. Let's go talk. And they go into a room. They start talking again in long, awkward pauses. But this is that point in which I'm going, Hashimoto, say something. Dude, like I think I said in the last impression, I'm like, the brother needs to step up. The brother is the only one that can get in here. And thankfully, he technically does later. It just doesn't show it. But he apparently comes to an agreement with her. And apparently what Yoshida said got to her. But it's like, this was your time to step up, and he didn't. And it was so frustrating. Granted, he acknowledges it. Like, he does acknowledge the fact that I couldn't. You stepped forward before I could. You bowed before her, and I couldn't do that. And it kind of was the reason why she changed. So, yeah, just a really, again, a really kind of frustrating scene because of what is happening. The mother still doesn't acknowledge what she did. She still, of course, is blaming Sayu. Like, yeah, granted, that's a mother thing. You ran off. What'd you expect was gonna? These are typical things that a mother's going to think about when a child runs away. What did you do? What did you expect was going to happen? What was the end goal that you had in running away? Again, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not excusing her behavior here. I'm just saying this is what they would normally, obviously, have in their mind. But it was the point in which she doesn't acknowledge why Sayu left. And then when Sayu reacquaints her to, I ran away because you blame me for my friend's death. She still doesn't acknowledge it. She doesn't go, oh, well, I'm sorry about that. She just like goes, well, what did you expect you were going to change? Like, she doesn't even acknowledge what she just said was what hurt her. And it's like, oh my gosh, this woman. And then to kind of turn that into the aspect of her essentially saying, you don't know what I've gone, like finally when Sayu finally snaps and she's like, it was essentially when she brought up, well, and you also brought this stranger here. Like, this stranger taking care of you, he's a criminal. And the moment that happens, obviously Sayu snaps and she's like, you keep insulting the ones that are my friends, and I hate you and for what you are. And then it turns into, again, this whole aspect of, oh, now I'm the victim again. Oh, no, you don't know what I've gone through. I wish you were never born. And it's like, and what did Sayu do? What exactly? And this is where I can't understand this lady. And maybe it's the troubling aspect of it, and it's obviously it's projecting. This is a solid. This story essentially boils down to, this entire story boils down to the cause and effect of projecting. The mother hates what happened with her husband. And everything about the husband and what transpired, she projects on the daughter. The daughter had nothing to do with him leaving. He was already leaving. She was saying that she was pregnant, and he was like, oh, well, you need to get rid of it. And she didn't, thinking it would keep him there, but he was still already leaving. The baby had nothing to do with him leaving. He was already leaving. So you can't say that it's her fault, like everything is her fault, because she already existed before it happened. And him leaving, it made it out as if he didn't know she was pregnant, and then when he was leaving, he's like, well, crap, get rid of it. It wasn't that he said, oh, crap, you're having a daughter? Pfft, I got this other chick I'm going to get with now. So, again, it's a classic case of projection, and she's projecting this on her daughter. And that's why I can't understand it. The idea of projecting and bullying based on a lie is you can't comprehend it unless you're that person and you think that you're right, and you're obviously wrong. And so it was very frustrating. And like I said, it angered me, obviously, because it's yeah, if Sayu did something that caused it, I can kind of understand her frustration. Like, oh, yeah, well, if Sayu was born and when she was, a toddler, she, I don't know, got in daddy's prized boat and crashed it somewhere, and that's why dad left. I was like, okay, I can kind of follow you there. No, even still then, it's like the aspect of innocence. But yeah, this was frustrating all around. And like I said, more so frustrating because the brother never speaks up, and he was in the perfect position. And I like that this show doesn't have Yoshida stand up and fix everything. It's not him barking out and saying, I'm not your family, but you shouldn't have this happen. He honestly realizes that. This is, again, the awkward moment. He picks up the cup, and everybody looks at him, drinks it, sits it down, and then sits there, and they all stare at each other for the next 5 minutes. He realizes that, and I think that he realizes that him lashing out is not going to fix anything. He says that there's a side of me that's quelling an anger, and there's a side of me that's calming, and is pushing that anger down. Because obviously, if he threw the cup, he'd be out of there. They'd probably call the police. He'd be out of there, and nothing would get solved. That's the frustrating thing for the viewer too, is that we want to strangle this lady. We are angered at this, but we know that it doesn't fix anything. It won't fix anything. You can't fix this with anger. It's not going to happen. This lady is not going to accept anything, let alone any kind of sign of violence or somebody speaking over her. And that's why he ultimately chooses to go over there and just beg her, look, you're the only one that can raise this girl. Legally and socially, you are the only one that can raise this girl. I can't just take her and go back. I'll go to jail. Yeah, maybe we can find an orphanage to take the girl. I don't think that would happen. They'd probably bring them back to the mother. She can run away again. They'll bring her back to the mother. The mother's the only one that can finish this story until she graduates, and then she can leave. And that's the frustrating thing, is that there's no other option here. Unless she were to give up Sayu to adoption directly, there is no other option here. She has to come back to the mother. And we have to accept that, and it's sad. It's sad that we have to accept it. Like, that this is the only option that she has. Yeah, I can technically say probably Yoshida or the brother can probably call child services. But they're going to talk to Yoshida, and Yoshida be like, yeah, hi, I know this girl named Sayu. And they're like, what's your relationship to her? I met her in Tokyo. She ran away, and she's a little upset. It's going to bring question to him. So again, there's very little options he has being not of the family and being a total stranger from, way far away. Like I said, I think that's the point. The point is the situation sucks. The point is this whole story is about a guy taking a leap and going into an area that is socially unacceptable to help somebody. And the fact that he is able to get through this without, catching the law, and two, not doing things that most people would deem would happen if this were to happen. And that's, again, I think the whole point. So, yeah. And then the brother finally goes, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Yes, please, mother, do this. And then again, mother goes, "Oh my, why you guys? Why is this happening? Wham, 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 projecting, wham, wham, wham. I'm the victim." She's so garbage. She's so garbage. But it was nice after this. She wants everybody to get out of there, and Sayu and Yoshida goes outside, and you have this nice little moment with them, Sayu kind of acknowledging that she's gonna be all right. Like, she thinks that she can handle this, and it's difficult. Yoshida kind of has a little breakdown moment here. He's sad because he didn't know that the mother was this bad. He thought he knew, and she's far worse than what he actually thought. And that's what he can't stand, is that he brought her back there, I think, and his vision of what could have been fixed has been broken. Like, no, this is worse. This is way worse. Even still, the brother comes out and says, "I mulled things over. She's gonna. We agreed that you're gonna stay here until you graduate, and then you can leave." She's gonna try. They're gonna try together to all make it work. Like, try to learn to get along. And it was interesting because Sayu pretty much mentioned something here to the mother's favor. And again, I'm not excusing the mother at all, but it's what she's thinking, and I kind of agree with it. What did Sayu say very early on about her mother? That she never tried. Like, her mother went cold and never really paid attention to her and gave her love, but Sayu never tried either. And this is a point in which Sayu realizes, look, I should probably try to. Like, I've never taken that step to the middle either, because I never seen her in the middle. I never took that step to the middle. She could technically try. And she's matured so much. Like, the brother acknowledges and the mother acknowledges that she has matured. Unfortunately, a lot of it had to do with her probably going through something she should never have done to get mature, but we're going with this. But what if her stepping out there a little bit might help? What if her, going out of her way and toward to inform these people that are spreading rumors about her mother will fix what their mother sees in her? Like, well, she did this for me. Maybe I should stop. Maybe I should fix myself. It's always good, again, not excusing the mother, to give people the benefit of the doubt in order to mend things. Me personally, I've experienced a lot of cases where I think something is said nasty, but the moment I give them the benefit of the doubt, sometimes they go, "Wow, yeah, I was being a jerk actually, and sorry." And it's like, well, that's all right. I was giving you the benefit of the doubt. Things that can mend that relationship is obviously needs some step forward, and she can do that. Yeah, and then it kind of ends with Yoshida saying that he wanted to see the mother again. He just goes in there and basically apologizes for stepping out of line, and she's like, you didn't do anything to her, right? And he's like, "No, I didn't. I promise." And she's like, leave tomorrow. We're gonna try to make this work. And so that's kind of where we're leaving it. The next episode is marked as future. So this is kind of what I was hoping for, was a time leap. I kind of was not liking the idea of it before, just because the idea of, it's obviously one of those things. Well, she's old enough. There they get together. But at least at that point, it'll be legal, and we can go, okay, sure, that's fine. She's now 20 or whatever. She's probably just gonna be just legal. It's gotta be just legal. It still has the aspect of grooming. That's the only thing that's gonna upset the idea of even recommending this show. But we'll see. We'll see how it ends. What the end note is. Again, I know there's Yoshida X Sayu fans out there, but again, trying to see this from a viewpoint of something that is not socially unacceptable and can be suggested to people, and the idea that it's killing a taboo, or at least snuffing out a taboo. Like, this guy can help this girl. It's not a bad thing. But at the same time, there's a lot of people that can't be trusted, and that's why we err on the side of caution. But if it ends on a note, like, I don't know, maybe him getting with Goto, and then suddenly Sayu shows up and they're friends, it would make it a lot more easier to suggest. That's all I'm saying. I don't mind either way. Whatever happens, happens. Whatever the story the writer wants to tell is fine. But it's going well right now. I do like this kind of turn that hopefully the mother can at least just live with it for now. Let Sayu move on with her life after that point. But like I said, there's restrictions, and there's only so many options they actually have. So that's my thoughts on episode 12 of Higehiro. I did not think I was going to have this much to talk about with the 12th episode, but yeah, I think the last episode is really going to be just a wrap up, and this was the climax to be sure. But hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts. If you did, leave a like down below, comment, let me know what you thought of the episode, subscribe if you haven't already, share this video if you can, and I thank you all for watching, and y'all take care.